Hey guys, this is Fia from Fia's Handmade Soaps, and I'm back again, of course. I am making cold process baby soap. Speaking of baby, there's a baby out there crying at the bus stop with their mother. Okay, because it's really loud. I'm making a baby soap for my friend slash cousin-in-law. She just had a baby, Jaleesa, and this is her breast milk mixed with lye and the oils and everything. This soap is for baby Cameron, precious little baby boy, and I made sure before she even gave birth, I said, hey, if you want me to make you baby soap, I'm going to need some breast milk. So, it ain't. This is not for newborn baby Cameron to use now, but, you know, in a few months when he is old enough to, I guess you can bathe the baby now, but they don't need soap now. So, you know, this will be curing for a while before baby Cameron gets to use it, because babies don't need soap right now. Not yet. Not really. This is not Castor soap. This is not olive oil. This is castor oil, olive oil, and shea butter. 15% castor, 55% olive oil, and 30% shea. And I already put in a tablespoon of honey in here with the oils. I had melted the shea butter down, and I put in a tablespoon of honey in there because usually, if you guys watch my videos, I tell you that you have to disperse the honey in something, milk, or water, or whatever you got, so it doesn't, because there's a chance that if you just pour it in there the way it is, that you'll have honey pockets and little brown spots in your soap. Well, I didn't have enough breast milk to put to the side, because this is a 1.5 to 1 water lye ratio, and she only pumped me about 2.80 ounces, so it's pretty much almost a 1-to-1, but you know, I work with what I got, and so I didn't have enough to put to the side to disperse in some honey. So what I did was after I heated up the shea butter, it was really, really hot because I put it in too long. I just put the tablespoon of honey in there and, you know, mix it around. So the honey, it looks pretty good. It's just sitting at the bottom, of course, but, you know, I'll stir it all up and get it all mixed in. And I have the tiniest bit of Lavender Essential Oil sitting in some Bentonite Clay, 1 teaspoon of Bentonite Clay, and 0.20 ounces of Lavender Essential Oil, like the tiniest little bit. So a lot of people might say, well, what's the point if you're only using a tiny bit of essential oil? Well, once it cures, you may or may not be able to, it won't be a strong smell, of course, because it's such a tiny amount. But as you use the soap and you lather, you know, put it into water, a lot of it'll come out. You know, a lot of the smell will come out, and that's what we want to soothe baby Cameron. It's not a strong scent. You don't want it to irritate baby or anything. That's why I'm using such a small amount. This is only about a 1 pound soap. And I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of colloidal oatmeal. And I also infused the olive oil with lavender buds for it was in a crock pot on warm for about 8 hours. And then I turned that off, and I let it sit in the crock pot for another, it sat in the crock pot for maybe another 4 hours before I strained it. Okay. So, breast milk looks pretty good. I'm going to put it in there before it actually starts to turn orange. I wish I had more of it, but hey, I can work with what I got. That's all she could provide at the time, which is fine. I could have actually added some goat's milk or coconut milk or something like that to it and made it a bigger batch, but I didn't want to add any other liquid. I wanted this to be all breast milk soap. without no added other milks or water or anything like that. So, I mean, she said it was fine if I added some goat's milk for Cameron soap, but I just didn't want to do that. I just wanted to be all mother's milk, you know? Even though I love goat's milk. Now, I am scraping the crap out of this bowl because I want to make sure, I want to get as much of it out as I can. I don't want to waste it. Such a small amount of milk, you know, and I just don't want to waste it. Try not to. Alright, so I got as much of it out as I feel like scraping out. It's pretty good. Okay. So I guess I'm going to add the colloidal oatmeal and bentonite clay, lavender, all that at the end. This is a pretty fast, simple soap, so it's not nothing extravagant or anything. I was going to make it in a Pringles, put it in a Pringles can so it could be a circular soap, but I have the small Pringles can. I don't have the big one. So the small one I think might be too small. It might not hold it also. Now that honey is sitting on the bottom. So try to stir that up. Come on, air bubbles, get out of there. That sound is the air bubbles that gets under the stick blender. It's the air that gets in there in the shaft and it creates bubbles in the soap, which we don't want it to do, but it's doing anyway. It is still creating. I don't know why it's creating this. I mean, I know it's a small batch, but geez. Come on, air bubbles, get out of here. If you tapping your stick blender 8,000 times, and no matter what you do, and it's still creating bubbles, it's probably the stick blender. So yeah, it might be my stick blender. Like, the soap won't take long at all because it's because it's such a small batch. See those air bubbles? So no, it won't be a white soap, of course, because of everything I had put in it. The honey, of course, would automatically make it not a white soap, and the fact that my Shea Butter is not ivory all the way, it has a little brownish, not brown, it's just not all the way white. So that adds to the non-whiteness of the soap. And what else? Castor Oil, olive oil was fine. Yeah, that right there makes it this color. And I'm going to add in my colloidal oatmeal. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. Okay. 1 tablespoon. Right in the middle, and I'm going to put this right on top. Okay. Oh, let me close this bag. just in case. I do not want to spill it. You never know. Okay. See right there, I can see the oatmeal, it changed the texture a little bit. Now we chose these, well, me and Jaleesa, we sat down and we was looking at what oils I didn't want to use a lot of oils. In my usual regular recipe, I use about 4 oils and a butter, but I wanted to tone it down, and I didn't want to do a Castor. It just takes too long. I just don't. And then with the Castor, which is 100% of olive oil, so it also has mixed reviews with a lot of people as well. Some people say even after 6 months to a year, they still didn't like their soap because it was slimy, and some people love it. I just didn't. We didn't want to wait that long, and it just, 100% olive oil soap just didn't sound appealing. So we picked the ones that we thought would, when we put it together in soap calc, high conditioning. So, and yeah, that's what we picked. I love to play around with soap calc. Make your own recipe. I was never one, even when I started, to follow somebody else's recipe. I just liked to play around with my own, make new ones, whether they came out good or bad. You know, create your own, and I'm proud of it, especially when it turns out great. And when it doesn't, you tweak it a little bit. Sometimes when you make that very first soap, when you pick your own and make your own recipe, and even if it doesn't come out great, you sort of know the direction you want to go in. Like my first soap, I used like seven or 8 different oils and butters. I had cocoa butter and shea butter in my soap, and it was a lot of other different oils. But I tested it on myself and my husband. I knew right away. Well, my husband knew that. He said it was too heavy on the hands. It was too much cocoa butter and too much shea together. So my next batch got better, and then every time, I tweaked my recipe, it got better and better. And so eventually I just didn't use cocoa butter at all. I don't know, I just like shea butter. To me is a lot better. I'm just mixing it up because the Bentonite Clay got a little stiff on the bottom. So we're going to add that now. Yeah, just play around with soap calc. There's nothing wrong with coming up with your own recipe and, making mistakes. And of course, in the beginning, I made a lot of small batches. So that's definitely a plus. Don't jump right in doing a 5-pound batch. I made a lot of 1-pound recipes for a while, and then I jumped to 2 pounds. And then I stayed 2 pounds for like a really long time, until I decided I was going to start selling soap, and then I bought my my mold for 5 pounds to make more all at once. And I actually like that. I do need to get another 5-pound mold. Only got one. So yeah, play around with soap calc. It's fun. Looking at the different oils. Yeah, some of those can be expensive, but when you look up your oil charts, the properties of different oils, I have like 4 different sources printed out that I look at to compare. What depends on what kind of soap I'm looking to make, and that's how I chose my oils or whatever, and really what's available to go to the store and get. In the beginning, I mean, you're not right off the bat jumping ordering for Soaper's Choice. I mean, you can, but you don't really want to jump right into the expensive stuff if you don't really know what you're doing yet. So I would say just go get some olive oil from the market. Target has the sesame and the walnut oil, and let me tell you, in the beginning I used those a lot, but now I don't use them at all really. My last couple soaps do have those in there because people requested the soap I made in the beginning. It was so popular, the soap I made in the beginning when I first started making soap, before I started selling or anything. It was so popular that I was like, I just bit the bullet and went to Target and got sesame and walnut oil. I cut down on all those oils because when I'm looking at my ingredients, I have like 7 oils, and I was like, it just seems like a lot, so I cut those out. But those are such great oils to have in your soap. It makes your soap creamier, more luxurious feeling. And a lot of people, even in the group, say that they don't buy those because they're expensive, because like 1/16-ounce bottle is like $8 from Target for both. It's ridiculous. But yeah, and they feel like for such a wash-off product, they don't want to add expensive oils to the soap. Yeah, that's true. That's why I took those out of my recipe, because they're just too expensive, and even to buy in bulk. But I just wanted to cut down on my ingredients. But boy, after I made the last couple batches with the sesame and the walnut oil, I do miss those oils. They are amazing. So I will say to you, when you're first starting out, experiment. Go to Target or Walmart or whatever and see what oils you can get. Learn how to, do 1-pound batches. Have fun with it. And as you make more soap, you'll know what you want to put in and what you want to take out, whether you really can afford to keep using that expensive oils that you bought from the store or not. But I tell you, yeah, after using the sesame and walnut oil, I was like, oh man, I'm really thinking about reformulating my recipe again to add those in there, but they are expensive. I just have to look at everything and just see how much they are in bulk and whether it's worth it. But when you are washing your hands with a soap that has those 2 oils in it, I don't know if it's either one or the other, or just both, as I always use them together. They're really luxurious feeling and really great, lathery, creamy soap. Every single time, no matter what other combination of oils and butters I use with it, it always makes a great soap. And I miss that with those oils. As you can see, it's thick because, of course, I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. But I'm not doing anything else to it. This is pretty much it. So, okay. So let's clean this off and put it in the mold. Smells good. I can definitely smell that little bit of lavender. But as it cures, it won't be it's not strong smelling right now, but as it cures, it'll probably be like, the smell will probably be almost non-existent. Sometimes your fragrances will do that. You use the maximum amount safe for skin, and you're like, well, I don't smell a thing. Sometimes it really takes you to put water to soap, for the scent to come out. And some fragrances just stay extremely strong no matter what. So it really depends on the fragrance. The essential oils, I find, they do mellow out a little bit over time, but just sitting on a shelf. But when you're using them, you get that smell that comes right back out. Sorry, I'm taking so long doing this, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the batter off, you know. Just try not to waste a lot of soap. Okay, put my stick blender in some hot water. Now I got these little rectangle soap molds from Brambleberry, and I'm going to put them in here. The only thing about this long thing is it's hard to tap it down in this thing. I should have found a different mold, but I don't have that many different molds. I didn't want to use my 2-pound loaf mold because this, I figured this wouldn't, it would just be a small little sad thing sitting sitting in that mold. So I figured I'd just use these and see how they go. I'm sorry. I'll turn this around for you guys. Oh my goodness, I was doing, what the last soap I did? That Taiwan swirl soap. I was looking back at the video, and I was like, oh geez. I was, when I was making the soap and trying to pour it into the mold to get it, you know, in there good and scrape out the containers while I was doing it, I was just like bending down really far and my head was in the camera. I was like, oh man, you can't do, there ain't no do-overs. Soap is already done. So I was like, ugh. People are going to be like, what the hell? Lady, move your head. I didn't realize that I kept sticking my head in the camera. I didn't realize, so I have to be more conscious of that going forward on where my camera is when I'm doing stuff. Okay, 1 second, let me see. Take this on my counter. Yeah, the soap is thick, but I already knew it was going to get thick because you have Bentonite Clay, you got honey, you got what else I put in here, Colloidal Oatmeal, all that stuff, those clays and everything that makes your soap thick. So if you're doing something extravagant, you might want to either hurry up or have a really, really fluid batch. Really, really fluid. So, and when I take these out of the mold, I plan to cut these in half as well. So they'd be nice palm size, small palm size soaps that she can, you know, hold and not a big old square chunk. That's why I didn't want to use the loaf mold, because the cuts would be too big and too wide, and that's why I picked this. So yeah, I'm going to cut these in half when they're done. Alright, let me see. Where's my sponge? Let me tap these down too to try and get the top to settle. As you heard, I beat the crap out of these things. just trying to smooth out the top a little bit so it don't look all weird and wrinkly. Just a little bit. Yeah, this soap set up fast, which is not a bad thing. Sides alone. That's fine. I'll just clean them up when they're done. The only thing about I don't use this mold often at all because it's hard to get the soap out. To me, I don't see how you really get it out good. But then again, I don't think I tried putting it in a freezer for these. So that's what I'll do. When I go to take it out the mold, I'll probably put it in the freezer for a little bit and see if it comes out. I didn't use any sodium lactate for this soap. No, I just didn't want to use any. And that is all, folks. Thank you so much for watching another video of mine. This is my baby Cameron soap, made with mother's breast milk. And stay tuned for the... Should I even make a cutting video? Yeah, why not? Why not? Stay tuned for the unmolding / cut in half. Why not? Stay tuned. You know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit a thumbs up and subscribe to your girl. And follow me on Facebook under Fia's Handmade Soaps. Bye, guys.